Tell him about it.
I gasms. When I look at you, it makes me feel better than good. And what I see is you and me together forever. I'm knocking on wood. Every kind of gasm in the book. Each eye has 'em. Every time I take a look, you give me gasms. I gasms. You're the one responsible for my
Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome back.
gasm, gasms. You give me gasms. Ear gasms. I hear your voice.
He moving around the body. He said, I gasms first. And now
It's a
to
sexy
ear.
sound, makes my love come down, and I know you can deliver
Y'all not ready for
any kind of
y'all not ready for Smokey Robinson on the gasms.
gasms you don't give me. I don't think exist. You give me gasms.
I gotta cut this shit out. You said slut. I don't care what y'all say. It's in the it's in the top 10 starts to episode ever. Oh,
That's what y'all get for letting light skinned niggas run wild.
my God.
I don't understand it.
did you guys know that Smokey Robinson has a new album called Gasms?
The whole album is called Gasm?
The album itself is titled Gasms, and then the first song is Gasms, and if you think I haven't listened to this in its entirety, you're fucking out of your mind. It sounds, it's a lot of
Sounds exactly like what you think it sounds like.
it sounds just like that. It's like one album of that. He doesn't continuously say Gasms, but it's like, oh yeah, it does. I mean, it's true to who to the demographic. If you are trying to bust somebody down, you got a little, you got a thick 72-year-old neighbor. You know what I'm saying? You think somebody granny, fire or whatever. You play some of that. She put some, have your upper lip smelling like apple cider vinegar, boy. Gasms. He said everywhere on his body she give him orgasms.
It's not gasms, that's a stroke.
Orgasms.
He's having a heart attack. Palpitations, that's what it should be. That's the follow-up. The next album will be Palpitations.
What if he's singing himself? What if it's a reverse? He's really in pain, he crying out for help.
Most of their music, isn't that what it was?
Right arm gasms as I give a fucking heart attack. 'Cause I'm losing my mind fucking with her.
The left side of my face is droopy now.
Damn, she gave him a stroke.
Well,
Stroke of the strokes.
yeah, that's apparently the gasms that he's looking for is for stroking.
Oh my God.
That is just awful. Awful. This, to me, that lets me know you didn't write your music back in the day.
I thought he was the writer dude. I thought he wrote for everybody else. Like,
Well, that would explain a lot of the music.
because I know, that was
It sounded good back in the day, but when we really go back and listen to some of the lyrics,
I felt
they wasn't hitting like we thought they was.
I'm a fan of people that when you listen to some of these pods, not everybody, because a lot of musicians are in pods. You probably can't shit on your peers, but I do like that that's like sprinkled out here and there. Like I've heard a couple of things where it's like, hey, did y'all listen to this? I know I feel like we've been saying that for a long time, but like every now and again I hear somebody go, if we listen to this, these niggas was nuts on this fucking song. Like this shit is outrageous. And then when you hear them niggas in real life, it's like I'm not doing that shit. Like there's an old Vlad interview that popped up, and it had Aaron all up there, and that nigga is nuts, like nuts.
I mean, he been fighting relevancy since R. Kelly came out.
I mean, it's another nigga whose lyrics you have to. Everybody figured out, you know, who's got the vibes now, and that shit got fucking. It's nasty. It's nasty business out here.
I mean, he was telling you who he was from jump, so
I do. Still go to still fucking stay in jail, but it does make some of the shit he said like seem like just wild cries for help. Like I got to get this shit. I am who I am. I feel like I'm like wildly struggling, and here we are, guys. Welcome to mental health. How y'all doing? Like I feel like that's also like a conversation where it's like discussing people's mental health. I don't think should always be like framed as like absolving them of their behavior. Like talking about the mental health issues of good old Robert Kelly in no fucking way makes me think that I don't want this nigga to stay in prison. But it's like more so like, hey guys, if you like see somebody or like you know, there's all those jokes that be on social media. Everybody got that one uncle or that weird cousin. Hey, if you catch that motherfucker around like 9 or 10 and you're like, you know, this is off. That's where you could probably get in there and like maybe salvage something, stop some trauma from happening. Don't let a motherfucker like get to Robert and just tell your kid not to go over by Uncle what's his name. Fucking stop Uncle what's his name. And maybe if you can, stop Uncle what's his name before he even becomes an uncle. You know.
I would say that for the old school approach, sure. I think the newer generations, like millennials and Gen Z, they'll have a better opportunity of like really talking about it and bringing light to it. But we know back then they wasn't even whatever family member that was autistic or mentally retarded, as they used to call it. They just locked them in the back room and act like they don't exist and just slide them a meal through the door for the most part. So of course they weren't going to address if uncle or cousin so and so was doing some shit. But not even going back that far.
Got them demons on them.
Well, yeah, they make it seem like they don't have a mental health issue. They just say some other shit that is completely stupid as well. But that makes me think of like Cassidy's comment also too.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that.
We been avoidant. Like we avoidant even as kids we were avoidant because there was other people that was fucking we all knew a couple girls at our school that was.
Yep.
You was dating up, but you was dating.
This is.
You ain't supposed to be up that high. Like I definitely had some. I can remember I had a girl that I was in class with in like 9th grade. You know, girls used to always have a folder decorated with all the pictures and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she had pictures on her folder, and I was like, "Oh, you know, who's that? That's your pops?" And she's like, "Oh no, that's my boyfriend."
Yeesh.
And I'm like, even me as the 9th grader, I think she was a 9th or 10th grader as well. How old is he? Like, oh, he's 40.
That's fucking gross.
And she's like proud of that. She's like proud of like, oh yeah. And we allowed the distortion of allowing young girls to think like girls mature faster than boys, which makes them justify themselves going with somebody significantly older than them because that's how I am. The boys that are my age are too young for me, or the boys that are my age aren't mature enough for me. And it's like, no, they're the same maturity level as you. Unfortunately, that older dude that you dating is the same maturity level as you also in some capacity, but he just knows how to manipulate you and play the game a little bit differently than you do. But we just see it and we okayed it. It was okay for somebody to be in the 11th grade with a sophomore in college boyfriend. That's
like, I don't know. That was parts I took that I was like took issue with that Cassidy statement. The main one is everything he said was right. Like everybody like knows these niggas exist. They are the cameraman. They are the fucking producer. They are the whoever the fuck. And it's like, I'll never make a song. Well, fuck, nigga, find another way to make a song. Like, to a certain degree, I feel like that mindset gets niggas in trouble in general. Because it turns into regardless of the scenario, it always turns into what I'm supposed to do about it. I mean, you do what you can. Because that shit there is nuts of, like, knowingly. Like, it's one thing if everybody, like, kind of, I'm sure there are motherfuckers who came to the studio and they did not know that room to the right was the piss corner. Like there was some people who came in that studio and did not know that. Right. But some of you motherfuckers who went in there and knew that knew that there was a bunch of fucking like candy wrappers and condoms on the floor, you should be fucking arrested. Like you motherfucker, like that shit. Like yeah, I don't give a fuck. Like that shit is wild, and that shit is like something I just feel like niggas. There is no like condoning for that. Like just because you know what happens. Like if I know that the apartment across the hall and the apartment like next door, like crazy shit happens, they be punching kids and you know choking dogs. Maybe you should fucking do something. Just because they do it all around the way don't mean it shouldn't. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Right. But I mean, definitely if you in the industry and you know that there's shit going on, speaking up about it is a necessity, right? Even if it's at the expense of your career. I know a lot of people may not be willing to do that, but the difference between me making a few $100,000 or $1 million and making no money and being sitting in the same place that I'm at is me speaking out against it. Like, nah, I don't rock with what Buddy rock with, so I'm just not gonna work with him. Mm-hmm. And it ain't even got to be you really speaking up about it. It's just like, nah, I'm not working. I'm not putting myself in a position to work with Buddy because I know what's going on. And I'm sure a lot of people like we heard about the shit and saw the videos in high school.
That shit was running.
So it was definitely going around. Like Kaz was still on the block. He wasn't nowhere near him having a record deal or none of that shit. He was still a kid, just like me. So when you get to the industry, you know what time it is with certain people. Like you ain't find all of this shit out after your third album, and now you really starting to see people.
Y'all niggas did that shit in the fucking 90s.
You knew what time it was. Yeah, so drawing the line in certain areas and saying, no, I'm not rocking with that. You could have been did that as your little form of protest. But I was more so rocking with him because he's like, no, these are everyday cats. Like these regular people. Like we demonize the celebrities, but it's regular cats in our neighborhood on our block that we see. It's plenty of girls that I can remember you getting picked up by the dope dealer or the gangbanger. That nigga ain't in school and he ain't our age. But he coming to pick you up. Like there's a lot of the baddest chicks.
I ain't finna name no names, but I remember a couple of y'all.
I remember the girls that was dating them.
And I'm still specifically talking about some of y'all like, you know, like jokes will fly around. And I give it to, you know, some of us in our group, like at that time, you know, you're in high school, so you at least make fun of them niggas. But I think that, I don't know, I just couldn't imagine being, and maybe like everybody's household is not always like, you know, it's not always set up to be as, you know, protecting of their children, but it just sometimes I'd be like, it's somebody see this shit. And it's this big grown motherfucker. Like, why are you here? That shit is fucking weird. And like, I don't know how that focused on. I do think there is, I don't know, there's narratives. I know you hear like in a lot of black families say with, you know, they get like a watered down version of the precious scenario where it's like, crucify this motherfucker because that's a child. She's not fast. That nigga's a predator. Those are two different things. Like I'm not saying fastness don't exist, but I'm always go for the adult first. And like her fastness, let's get because I feel like
her fastness can be attributed to like a lack of guidance.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes people you backtrack that enough, you do have to examine where you might have dropped the ball. Now, everybody didn't drop the ball maliciously. Some people dropped the ball because you didn't know what the fuck you was doing. I'm actually going to come back around to that. And that's okay. That's understandable. Whoop-de-whoop. Shout out to therapy. But I think that the conversation should sometimes be had, even if you don't got to even get personal. You know, I'm not trying to, you don't got to throw your business out in the streets. But there's a conversation that like, look here, bro. Like, it's not just this girl being fast. She fast because you made a drop. Maybe you should have, you know, paid attention a little more. He not a good man. That nigga's a fucking adult. But I feel that way both ways because people think I'm joking. If I see some big 38-year-old bitch coming to pick up my 17-year-old son, I'm going to drop kick her in her fucking chin because what do you want? What are you doing? But
I feel like they were a little bit more subtle with it. Like, I can understand. I remember cats, like, there's a couple cats I know that you a senior and you took a freshman to prom, right?
I used to think that was low-key weird. But
we would kind of talk shit about it, but that's still within the confines to me. It's like you 17, borderline 18, and she fresh. Y'all still within each other's age range to a degree. So whatever, that's cool. There was some chicks that was you trying to get your boyfriend that supposedly he college age, but you want him to come take you to prom. That's a little bit. All right, he been dating you apparently. That's a little suspect. We may not say nothing to the drug dealer or the gangbanger because people be scared of whatever hood they from, not knowing, hindsight, me in 2020, you get older and realize he the lame nigga of the gang, but that's a whole nother situation. You thought you was really dating a reputable and you dating some pissant little nigga, but you thought you was doing something because you wanted, your ego got stroked in that situation. Great. When it comes to the women, the older women, though, I think they would do it more subtly. They would do it more groomy.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've had situations, I can remember being 17, having older women, like, because of my size. Because I'm already 6'3", 6'4", 200 and something pounds. Like, I still got baby face, but I'm built like a man. So I've had grown-ass women. I've had grown women with children already in their mid-20s trying to see what's up with me and want to kick it with me, and I'm 17.
It was I could think of just off top 2 situations, and I was every bit of, I think I was still 17 in both of these. I went with my mom to one time was my mom and my aunt. They went to like some clothing store, and I think I went somewhere in the little shopping plaza, got me something to drink, came in there to find them, and like the lady who was working the store, she said something to me, and I was like, oh, I'm with them. And then she like apologized. She's like, oh, I didn't know that was me. And then my mom was like, bitch, that's my fucking son. And that got weird. And then I remember one time, like I went to like that's what I think when I stopped going with my mom to fucking get her hair done. Because I walked in this one shop and it was like, and I'm like, I know it ain't. I know it's niggas that walk in here. So like, what the fuck? I was just, again, that was another one. I was like, I'm going to go pick y'all up in about an hour. Because y'all both got to get y'all hair done. I'm finna dip. But in that moment, even her, like, I think she kind of like, being a mom and just whatever, had like kind of not been partaking in that. And she was like, that's a fucking child. Like, her whole shit is that as a fucking child. And it ain't.
You can kind of tell.
And that was my thing.
I thought as a kid, like, maybe you can't tell. Because my mom would always tell me, like, you got to be safe out here in these streets. They going to treat you like a man. See a
picture of me at 17, I look 17.
I mean, to me, yeah, now as a 37-year-old man, I could look back at 17-year-old me and tell that I was for sure a high school kid or early college kid. Like I said, I had a baby face with a grown body, so I can see the age, which lets me know. I know you can see the age too, but I can see the age in college and somebody that was in grad school. Mm-hmm. I can tell when somebody was a freshman on campus, so I know you can look at me and tell like, I ain't exactly your age, and you on a slide not really caring about it because dick.
It's creepy.
But we don't speak that way. Like, it already goes back to the reality that we don't talk about a lot of young boys that have been molested by older women more so than young women or whatever that have been molested by men.
Yeah, and I think everybody's like dropped the ball in that scenario because, I know like when the conversation comes about, it's a lot of like, boys be like, yeah, they with that. But I was like, boys are stupid because they're fucking children at the time. And I don't know. I don't think like there's enough on both sides, fathers, uncles, moms, whatever. Like, like treat this person the exact same. Because I don't have none of that. Like, I don't have any of that. And I think, I think some of it has definitely been influenced by just doing my actual job for like a while. Like, you see the ramifications of that shit, and that shit's weird. That shit has impact. Motherfuckers start to say that goofy shit like, I like somebody more mature. You are fucking traumatized. Like, you can't even fucking there's somebody who took advantage of you, and you be looking for that person, everybody you fuck with, and that's weird. Like, now it's a lot to unpack. Like, you got work to do.
I mean, it's a significant amount of work, but they gotta want to do that work, and we gotta call them out on their bullshit to make them know that there's work that needs to be done. Like, we demonize a lot of men, but we don't talk about the women that you got some of the same issues. Like, you like your boys significantly younger than you,
and that's some manipulative, predatory shit.
I mean, where did that come from? Because you didn't just up and decide that.
Well, that gets into that conversation with people. I want y'all. I'm on a mission for y'all to, in a variety of ways, use your fucking words, because that's what shit. What is a preference and what's the other shit? Like, it's not being whatever. That's just their preference and blah, 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 blah. And your preference is stems and some shit a lot of times. Sometimes, you just like what you like. But word to Freud, some of that shit, y'all should be coming from somewhere. And that shit's weird.
Do we hold the same type of energy for, say, older dudes that are older than both of us? They in they 40s and 50s.
I'm gonna say I feel like we'll finish because I think I'm gonna say yeah though.
I mean, they're cool dating like women in their mid 20s.
Fuck yeah, I hold all you niggas to the same standard. And I'm saying this as a nigga, like, I don't know what that looks like in my immediate circle. I know, like, I got, shout out to me, knock on wood, thank you, man upstairs. My father dates right now. He don't fuck with nothing that's not in his age group. Shit gets weird. Like, I understand the concept, like, everybody's grown and physically whatever, and I ain't saying that, niggas should just want to whatever and go fuck with somebody who look like a burlap sack or no shit like that. But but I don't know, man. Words of black folks. I done seen some badass 50 and 60-year-old women
Absolutely
in the gym kicking my storm fetish into high gear because they got a whole head of white hair or gray hair and thick built up head to toe. So the idea of motherfuckers, and when niggas start talking that. I'm not saying everybody. I'm sure there's always some exception to the rule or whatever, but it is always like, I don't know, man, like ego shit or like superficial shit. I like them youngness, whatever. You can't even do nothing with the young girl the way you want to. I got money now. I can pay for maybe the attractive women I couldn't pay for back when I was like really young. I'm getting my rocks off now. As much as motherfuckers say, like, this coochie, got this old man whipped around my whatever. That nigga got you whipped around his too. You don't make no noise. He controls kind of the parameters of things. 'Cause I pay for something. You shut up and look pretty. And that's what many of those scenarios look like to me. You come here, you sit down, you shut up. Let me go ahead and pop this pill, get this thing off before my fucking heart implodes. I give you a couple $, you get the fuck on. But like,
I provide a lifestyle for you that you can't provide yourself. So you think you coming up because you get material and a lifestyle, not realizing I'm really in control of all of this. But that makes me think of the point of money manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of these transactions are ego and material driven.
Give me a sugar daddy.
But that's where I wanted to go with it. Like, we say it's okay for women to have sugar daddies, and we kind of condone cougars as well, but that's the same thing as predatory behavior when it comes to older dudes and younger women. I'm just leveraging a lifestyle or money and dangling it in front of you to be able to groom or take advantage of some younger person.
And, you grown, you can make your own choices. I don't like sometimes that I feel like.
You're not grown.
Yeah, I feel like
you
those.
You're an adult, but your brain is.
Well, there's that. I feel like there's parallels that don't always, like, there's a space where those do mimic the way we look at relationships now, especially like, these conversations always get flipped into like some way to justify, being a fucking bum and I can't think of like a character who's a bum now, but like, insert your favorite like lazy piece of shit dude character who doesn't do anything. Like, it's like those conversations act like you're justifying them, and that's not the case. But I feel like there's a parallel between that and say the would you date a bus driver chick that's gone viral. Yana and God, I can't remember that woman's name who she was talking to.
It's not worth remembering.
But I've seen her. She's been on a lot of stuff. She's talked about a lot of stuff. She's real smart. Got a little bunch of whatever. But it's not even a jump on her. It's just that when those conversations happen, conversations is always like my word to say. I think the parallel between is like it values niggas as just monetary things. And somewhere along the line, motherfucker wake up and be like, I want a relationship, I want to get me. And you've never really developed the skills to what the fuck that looks like in a partner. Like, I know in that clip, Ayanna was like, does he have integrity? Does he treat his mom right? Does he treat me right? Is he a nice person? Is he a hard worker? Does he have whatever?
I can't spin that.
And that's, to me, very short-sighted and dumb because I'm bouncing around. But
we saw at least I saw the pictures of who she was engaged to.
Oh, I didn't see none of that.
She was engaged to a CEO of a company who was a white dude.
At that point, what's the problem then? Because to me, I don't understand why it's never like, okay. And what's that shit that everybody hates? Like, anytime you talk to a man, he's always trying to solve the problem, and you want to just vent. Because if you're my friend, if you're my homegirl, and it's been 2 CEOs, a ball player, a nigga who ran his own business, a nigga who's an entrepreneur, a nigga who did real estate, various cultures, whatever. The problem's you, dog. All these niggas aren't dickheads. Like, the problem is that you just clearly, I don't know, either don't know how to maintain a relationship, don't know how to be a good partner, don't know really what you're looking for in a relationship. So everything's going to be hollow because everybody's like, it just didn't work out.
No bail. She know what she looking for. You know what you're looking for. Because, I mean, sticking with the conversation, at least based on the picture, I know a lot of the whites, a lot of white people, they age like dog shit and compared to us, but he looked like an older white dude. Mm-hmm. He didn't look like a white dude that was her age. So you were formerly, no longer, you were engaged to this dude that was a rich white man. You know what you was looking for. You was looking for status and money, and you chose that over culture.
But that's what I'm saying.
So you wouldn't date the bus driver regardless.
But that's what I'm saying with that. Like, the shit doesn't work out, and it's never figuring out how to go about cultivating a relationship properly. Yeah. If you went about it the financial route and you weren't happy,
you're still not gonna get it.
Yeah, nobody's telling you to go out here and get broke or whatever, or date somebody who maybe date somebody who picks up trash. I don't know. But look for the other things that matter in relationship, which parallels to why, like, when a motherfucker go, why you didn't like her, she a bad bitch. I'm looking for other things that make you a good partner. Because once the motherfucker, I love this line. Once my dick is unhard, what the fuck are we doing?
No. I mean, if you base it off of Tyler Perry movies, you get you a broke man that's hardworking, he's going to turn out with a happy ending. He might have a fucked up wig on, but, at least you're going to be in a happy relationship.
Well, no, everybody takes that as like, you got a super church going, he don't ask you for nothing.
But even in them scenarios, it's like you got to hit rock bottom just to consider them dudes.
Which is weird to me because, okay, in the reverse, I don't know. Everybody says things that are like really kind of manipulative to me. Because in the reverse, when we talk about like what makes women valuable, niggas be always talking about, niggas are just now having conversations about wanting her to add value or whatever, and what you bring to the table. Right. And, you get whooped down for that. But on the flip, it's just like this intrinsic value just because, she showed up, she's amazing, which is fucking kind of, how do I say this? Okay, for example, I feel like this is where I feel like people don't say things properly. So you said Tyler Perry. We all been sitting up here. Shit, just this week, Steve popped off. Steve went viral again. What you boys bringing to the table? This marriage thing. She belonged to me. That whole viral clip. But the crazy thing is, if you watch that whole interview, I needed something I felt to talk about, and I felt like at least with a good old Shannon and fucking Steve, I was gonna get some laughs. So, for one, got some fucking laughs. For two, I might actually have to like readjust my conversations regarding Steve Harvey, because when the motherfucker was up there telling his story, you fuck around and get inspired life-wise, and then when you listen to the conversation, how this nigga described his relationship, nigga, that's not what the fuck is being said out here. That's not the conversation that's now. I don't know. I saw some other shit pop up, and I'm not getting into that because I don't really know the ins and outs of his past relationships. But bro, in that relationship said, in that conversation said, first relationship, I was 25, didn't really know what I was doing, popped up with twins. I'm going through life. I'm chasing my purpose, and my purpose kind of trumped being everything at home. He also says in there that like this recent wife is the only wife he's really loved. Dated her once upon a time. They fell apart. He fucked around everybody else. And he knew kind of who he loved, which I think is another kind of conversation to have.
Sound like the shit that Brian McKnight said too.
Now, I'm bouncing all over the place, but put a pin in that.
We'll come back to that.
Put a pin in that weird little concept. But he goes through all this thing. The second wife who, took him for everything he got. There's stories about that, about how, whether she's a takey person. But I ride with Steve's version. She took him. They had a decent divorce. She hit him for all he had. He had to re-up. When he gets to this third wife, the conversations he specifically discusses what she brings to the table. He gets to her and...
You had your table cleared already. That's why you got to ask. Hitting rock bottom, and then you have to do shit the right way.
Hits rock bottom. He comes back. He becomes Steve Harvey again. 47 shows. 83 fucking jobs, all the money in the motherfucking world. And him and her reconnect. And then over the course of their relationship, there are situations where he's like he talks about what's his favorite place to go. He's got this big old ranch, big old like whatever. He's like, this is my favorite place. This is my happy spot, so on and so forth. And he's like, I have this spot off of the back of her. She's the one who decided to like that we should make this purchase. And at first, my mind went off like, God damn, this motherfucker buying shit, ain't got no goddamn money. And then he was like, the reason I knew I could afford it is because she's good with money. Through her, he talked about what makes her a good partner is she makes me laugh, she makes me feel good, she bigs me up, she supports me.
Down to my toes.
Down to my motherfucking toes, from the bottom of this bald ass head to the top of this bald ass head to the bottom of these big motherfucking feet. This motherfucker is speaking life, as y'all motherfuckers say, with y'all favorite fucking lines that I hate. I can only enjoy something for a week with y'all because then I just start saying some dumb shit. And then he talks about that she's pretty much, this is expressing what she brings to the table, because he's like, as fast as I can make it, she's smarter with money than me. So she knows where I should invest it, how I can do this. When I'm getting these jobs, she's coordinating. And I parallel that to like, there was a podcast that came out a while ago where it was like the Blue from the Blue Truck, and he was like, and basically in their conversation, she was like, this nigga know how to cook. I came in and was like, I'm gonna figure out the business. All you have to worry about is cooking. That's a balanced thing. That's 50-50. Whatever way y'all want to cut it. The niggas, and it blew my fucking mind, because I'm like, well, nigga, this is what niggas is asking for. Why the fuck are we going back and forth when you literally just stated she's not just sitting there spending your money? She's like, I'm teaching you how to flip this motherfucker. She's like a financial advisor. Absolutely don't go to work. Work here because I'm talented. And that's also like you're in a really specific situation. But fuck all that. Yeah. That shit fucking pissed me off so bad. I was like, why are we having all these dumb fucking conversations? Say this part.
Because that means he would have to sit back and, one, admit the dumbass shit he subscribed to as a kid, and two, he'd have to be accountable to how he still believes that silliness. And that don't sell books. What sells books is saying the silly shit and doing something else behind closed doors. We talk about that all the time. Beyonce say one thing, got a whole husband at home. Meg say one thing, got a whole boyfriend. City Girl said one thing, been chasing after men, literally shooting a shot, trying to make sure they get into the right position. Whether it's a real relationship or not, even if it is transactional, I'm still wanting to be in the thing that I'm telling y'all that y'all don't need to be in. So it makes money to sell a contradiction.
P. Diddy, boy.
Well, she like it, so.
I mean, hey, turn up.
I ain't mad at
I
it.
ain't finna knock y'all.
I
Turn
ain't
up.
gonna knock your king.
Two consensual adults, man. Get that pee-pee.
Hey, she went from a ratchet chick who went to jail to being fucking at the Met Gala, right? Or is it the other one that went to jail? I don't know which one is which.
No, she didn't. JT went to jail.
Oh, okay. I don't know which one is which.
In Miami, she was just out here holding it down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but it's the old narrative to me that bleeds into the controlling aspect to me. You would have to admit that you was fucking controlling, but you still got some controlling ways, because you sitting here saying that she belongs to you, but she don't. She's clearly your business partner. The other nasty side of that is it took you 2 failed marriages for you to realize she was the one, and for her to actually give you another shot.
she belonged with me. I belong to her.
She gave you another shot after she realized your earning potential. And she wanted to help you maximize that, because she's like, he can get this money, but he don't know what to do with it. But if I help him.
That's a decent take. Like, the way the conversation is framed, like, I know it was like they reconnected or something like that. But
How did you magically reconnect with somebody that you dated a while back and it didn't work out after you've become rich and lost a lot of money? You're down on your luck, and then you reconnect with this woman that's going to help you get your money up and keep it this time?
how did that conversation go? I guess he was up.
Then down after the second marriage.
He was down up second marriage. Then he comes back up. This is how he
Mm-hmm.
described it. Like he came, he was up, and he's like in Vegas. And he's like partying it up, and I guess his
Peacocking.
and I guess his bodyguard knew somebody that she knew, and he was having a conversation with that person. That person puts her on the phone, and then they started talking, and he was like, it was fire. It was sun rose, and they immediately connected and kicked it, and
He fell for the okie doke.
yeah, it was.
He was doing the same shit you was doing before. You were unhealed, and you was out here trying to live your life and act as if you are healing by doing silly shit, blowing money. And she can see that. She knows what type of life you live in, and she found you. 2 degrees of separation, and next thing you know, you back in the saddle. But she gonna make sure that she don't take you to the cleaners. She's gonna help you build the cleaners. Basically.
There's that. Now,
It just sounds like two nasty ideologies that end up working out together for now, because we don't know how the story ends.
That's a good point. Now I know with that there was like, but you know what's the crazy part? Even with all that, and then there was like a conversation about the kids and blah blah blah. But shit, like you said before, Steve in a better kid position than good old Brian. That nigga Brian said, "Fuck these kids."
Brian said, "Fuck his whole everything before this white woman."
And I don't know, like,
Well, she's Latino or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember.
and I don't know. I don't have kids. I've seen and heard everybody have these scenarios where you split with a partner, and there's always that conversation of how much influence a bitter scorned mother might put in their child. And I hear all that, but I don't fucking know. But I don't really buy that for the fucking Brian shit. I don't have
No, I'm not buying
I don't know the situation. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So it's complete speculation. But like the way this nigga like messaged, like that long ass message to his daughter, fucking or about his new daughter, knowing you have a fucking daughter, naming your fucking son with her the same name as the son you had. I don't know. Cause I'm like, the kids were around. He was in their lives, like young. Like you just took a flip to be.
I didn't care about nobody else until I met this woman I'm with now. Even though you had multiple children with the last chick.
Yeah, Brian McKnight a nut ass nigga. Like
it's nasty work.
Yeah,
like I can understand having a beef with your children. Y'all just not seeing eye to eye. We saw that with Kirk Franklin. We saw that with 50 Cent. Like they not gonna denounce their children. They just like we not seeing eye to eye because they on some silly shit.
Cause see, and I guess my thing is they said this even on the Joe Budden pod, and I think it was a decent point. It's like it's one thing to have the 50 Cent situation with a kid. You have a bad situation that might have happened. That kid's what? Bro's what? Our age?
He's 27 or something like that.
Okay, bro's approaching 30.
Yeah.
So you have Fifth. You put in all of like Fifth's lifestyle. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying Fifth was a shit dad. I'm like, from the way the situation was like Fifth was in the kid's life, and just the kid might have just ate up what the mom said. And I'm not saying that you don't feel a way for what somebody did to your mom, but at some point as an adult, you do have to take into account like your parents are human beings. And I don't know what 50 did, so I can't speak to the severity of how he treated the mom. But if it's just they don't fuck with each other, I don't know, man. You kind of gotta, figure out how to rationalize that in order to have a relationship with your parent. I guess if you want to, and if you don't want to, you can't come back being like Captain Money Hungry, even though bro is getting paid triple, double what motherfuckers go to work and make. But Brian got four. Brian did 4 times. You fucked up 4 times.
I don't know. Good relationship with none of them.
I don't know how to fuck. That's a you problem, my boy. 4.
And you started back at 1.
That's crazy. It's funny whoever says that shit. Like, that's been the joke that's kept on giving since this whole shit dropped.
But it's the truth. You expunged your whole record and just start over from the beginning, huh?
That nigga said they was on I think on the Joe Budden pod. It was like it was playing his songs. It was like all his hits was to his kids. Like, do I ever cross your mind anytime? Dad. And now you can't
You
even
ever wake up reaching out for me? Yeah, they did at
clearly.
one point in time, and you were nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know, man. Like I know everybody's got a specific whatever, and there's there can be reasons for everything, but I cannot find a reason to really fuck with Brian McKnight. Like I cannot justify this shit. I can't find any silver lining. It just seems like somewhere down the line, bro, either been a fuck nigga or just woke up and said, I've been a fuck nigga my whole life and I'ma stand on it.
Fuck nigga his whole life. I said it before, I'll say it again. I knew that nigga wasn't shit based on how he dressed. That nigga outfits let me know he wasn't about shit. Nigga was dressing like, what's that nigga name? I was gonna say Enrique Iglesias, but you can throw him in there too. R&B, black R&B singer out here looking like what's the nigga name, that the Latino dude name that all the women was loving until they found out he was gay?
Oh, Ricky Martin.
Ricky Martin.
Shit. So that nigga dressed.
He dressing like Ricky Martin and Backstreet Boys, and you supposed to be a black R&B icon. Like I know we was dressing a little different depending on what you was into, but his outfits let me know he wasn't about shit. He wasn't for us like we thought he was.
This ain't got shit to do with shit, but as I'm sitting here just like kind of comfortably got my hands placed, hey, why do y'all, because I see a lot of girls that, what, as much as I got a decent sized hand, what make y'all think that y'all little hands be covering up all that belly? Like, what is that supposed to, how?
What makes you think?
I knew I was fat when I knew you was fat when I liked the picture. It's just, I just thought, as I'm doing this, I just don't understand what the logic is, like, because y'all can see my whole body still. Like
it's the distortion of one. I don't like me, and since I don't like me, I'm gonna try to hide me, not realizing that I am incapable of hiding me.
That shit wild. I ain't got nothing to do with nothing. It just dawned
It don't,
on
but
me. So
it's still a lot of insecurity and unhealthy mindsets, and this you can't. You got to suck it in and put your hand over it like it's really gonna do something. I can look at your face and tell you're chunky.
I just be like, what happened like when when that nigga meet you in person? Like I don't know. I've never understood that to a degree. Like put your best foot forward, but have the foot there when I meet you. Like you can't put your best foot forward and then you pull up and you ain't got no motherfucking legs. Like I didn't know that when I showed up. Not to say if you ain't got no legs you don't deserve love, but like just be legless so I can make the choice.
Yeah,
to
just
fuck with the nubs.
give people the option. But you have to embrace yourself. But we have the term catfishing because of women. If we're going to be honest about it.
Yeah. And also you hat fish niggas. Like, I don't like y'all either. I don't never wear no hat.
But that hat fishing is not the same as catfishing.
Niggas got some big ass heads though, but I feel you.
Absolutely.
Niggas got some fucking noggins.
Absolutely. You can look at somebody like Problem. Problem got a big love your music, fuck with you, but he take that hat off, boy, and it's a whole
Why?
Him fucking Tory Lanez.
Yeah, that motherfucker head.
It's a bunch of cats that, boy.
This is outrageous in front of God. Yeah. Okay, I understand, like, you know, you want just let a nigga out, but I ever go, you know, I'd be like, hey, Pop, you gotta keep a player when you know. But I'm not going nowhere. I pay my fucking, I just paid a parking ticket. I'm not fucking with y'all. I don't want no fucking problems. And it don't be fun. Like I remember the other day, I was at work and they was watching something. It was like one of them like Locked Up Abroad or whatever shits. And every time
lock up or some
every
shit.
time I see that shit, I'm like, nigga, I understand like doing what you have to do in your environment. But some of y'all weird. Like, you know, I go, but not nigga for what? This shit sucks. Y'all, and now all you motherfuckers got phones and niggas just be on Instagram and acting like they having fun. Nigga, it look ass in there. That shit looks terrible. That don't look fun. It don't look cool. You niggas been outside living life for fucking 6 years. It's AI now. Like if a nigga went inside 4 years ago, it's artificial intelligence outside. You don't even know who the fuck you listening to on these songs no more potentially. It's gonna be fucking Android. It's gonna be you know what? Okay, I know the AI thing is like it's a little fucked up, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I saw a whole video about like the way they could scam you. Like, they send you the text message. The text message sends you to a link. Link gets all your information. They got pictures and all this other shit.
Why are you clicking links in the first place?
That's also silly. Don't click no fucking numbers you don't know. But if a random number calls you, you pick up the fucking call, you talking to them, they recording your voice. And so that's fucking scary. Scary as fuck.
I don't pick up calls of people I know.
That's also true. So you call, they call you, they get your voice, they call your family, your grandmother, have some money, she's scared, go to the bank, clear out or whatever out. That's the whole scary thing about it. But I did think about like the positives, and immediately it was some geek shit, because it was like, when you look back on like, how you think like, oh shit, remember back in the day when they thought about like Wesley Snipes had like a script for Black Panther, and it was like, that would be wild to watch. Although my argument is, as one of these like little human arts purist people, is as good as I feel like that idea would be, I don't know, could an artificial intelligence really give me the Wesley Snipes I would want on screen, or would it give me the Denzel, or so on and so forth. Like, a good copy is one thing, but if I'm looking for that whatever nuance, you only get that from like people, no?
I mean, we had hologram Tupac for quite some time now.
Was that fire, or was that just the nuance of it?
I think it was just the nuance of it. I don't think it was really as good as we made it seem. I think like we looked at it as if it was wonderful, because we got to see this person that we felt we lost too early, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And this is a way to put them in front of people as if they are actually getting to watch them. But then you really look at it and you be like, oh, that's Falcon.
Yeah.
That's not really Tupac. Like, when I look at it, that's Falcon. It moves like Falcon. It talks like Falcon.
That's what I can say. We up here watching Anthony Mackie.
That's not Tupac. That's not Tupacalypse. That's not Tupac Shakur. That's not Tupac. That's not none of that. That's Captain America, the new one.
Yeah. Like,
completely, like, this is a terrible rendition. Horrible.
Yeah, like, I get the whole, like, people are excited about the AI thing. Like, I even saw something that I was excited about, because it was like...
Excited. I wasn't excited about Allen Iverson, and that's the only AI I recognize.
I was a little excited about AI.
I wasn't, because he was always going against the Lakers, so
that
made sense for me to not like him at the time.
It's a fair point. I fucked with him when he wasn't playing against us stuff.
Absolutely.
But I even saw something that was like cool the other day. It was like a way for it to cut out, like, if you gave it a fucking order, it would record things like like the footage here, put it as an AI system out already that would do the cutting for us. It knows the voices, put it with the person. Cool, blah, blah, blah. But in my mind, I'm like, I feel like at a certain point, as fast as technology moves, like, you would cut costs on fucking even things like editors. Even the shit we're having right now, like, we're like, shit, all the fucking
writers
entertainment, all the entertainment is shut down for writers. It's like shit, and part of that I want to say is AI issues. Man, you put that shit over there with fucking editors, it's still the same shit, because motherfuckers are gonna like you could potentially, kill industries. And yeah, nigga, that's crazy as fuck. And I don't know how that works in like arts shit, because those are people's ideas. Like, I need people for that, or I want people for that, I guess.
I mean, I feel like it can still kind of work, because for me, for some wild reason, my brain went to porn, right? Like, how could we use AI for porn? Because you need real people. You need content creators when it comes to, now that we call them content creators as opposed to porn stars.
Bust it open.
Either way, you need content creators in order to create that type of content. Can AI recreate that? And I had a rebuttal in my mind. It's like, well, we see it with, say, anime, like animated. They have animated porn and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, there are ways it can be done to where you really don't need the people, and there's a large demographic of people that probably wouldn't care either.
Yeah, no.
There's people that don't watch people porn. They literally will watch hentai or something of some sort, and that's they get down, and they are completely okay with that.
I mean,
got the rubber dolls. We've been had the rubber dolls since fucking real sex 79 or whatever fucking number it was back in the early 2000s.
I've seen an ad on porn where it got real uncomfortable because the concept is, and I think it was just the ad, but the concept in the ad was like you could reface the shit or whatever. Like if you were hitting somebody, but you want somebody
to look like a particular person.
Yeah, you could just upload a face. Like, you know, I've been wanting to fuck. You know, you've been wanting to fuck such and such who work at the store. Or I've been wanting to fuck my neighbor got a love my neighbor, good looking, you know, whatever, or you know, good looking fellow, whatever you're into. And if you had a good photo of them, you follow them or you find their fucking Facebook, you could upload a picture. That's the concept. I don't know if it ever whatever because I'm not gonna hold you guys. I skip the ads. I watch my fucking porn and I'm going about my day. But in the event, like if we're having the AI conversation, it's a lot of you motherfuckers out here that could be, you know, hey man, I used to know, oh man, think about it. Like motherfuckers is weird. Damn, I do think Ashley is kind of built. Ashley built like a young Pinky. Like, you remember Pinky back in like first couple shit? Now, if you got a picture of Ashley and you like Ashley with pink hair, technology might get to a point where you could see Ashley and Ashley busting it down. Now, is that Ashley? No. But the ramifications of that are fucking never ending.
I mean, that makes me think of sticking with the topic of how we started the conversation. Like, say they upload in pictures of children. And they're getting dolls that are like children and having sex with dolls, but they're not having sex with actual children. Like, say someone has that struggle, that disease, that condition, whatever you want to parcel it as, but they have that and they go the doll route. I'm going to create these dolls that look and feel like little real people, and I'll have sex with them to keep from having sex with actual children. Do we demonize that, or do we look at that as like you're trying to work through your shit, or you're trying to do yourself? Like, do we look at it as a positive, or do we look at it as a negative?
I don't know that you're trying to work through it, because at some point, I don't give a fuck how. I feel like that, to me, runs still too much of a risk, because now it's like one thing is if you maybe, you know, I've had those urges, and, you know, it took you a while to get up the courage to whatever. Now it's like you have those urges, and now you have a space to really act that shit out. At some point, nigga, you're gonna fucking. I don't have tons of experience with that demographic.
Me neither.
But I know over the course of my career, I have worked with those who have that like impulse, and they were still like, you know, adolescent age.
Yeah, I've dealt with kids that still have them impulses, but that's a little different, I guess.
But I would say these ones that I'm specifically talking about, everybody that I had in this particular capacity was 17 to 19. They got like, you know, that last little bit, and them, you know, even transitioning to like shelter care was a issue, because it's like, you know, we got to kind of make sure you're not out in the public, whatever. Mm-hmm. So it was a good amount, and it was one that I like watched, and it was like it was one incident where nothing particularly happened, but he didn't know I was present. So it was him and another staff, lady staff. She was small, and you know, he was like, you know, I give him like 5'8", you know, maybe 150 or something like that, 160. And it was like watching, you know, doing his chores and stuff, and then he kind of looks up, and it kind of like almost registered like, oh shit, like I got an opportunity. Mm-hmm. And it looked like, you know, anime usually plays while we're watching the show, and you could tell when somebody clicks in it, like her. Holy shit. It like he went from regular this character here and flipped into the girl it just took like one of those like demon time tones, and I stepped in like, oh, y'all good? Are we done for that? And he kind of shook back. So when I think about it, I think like if it's really how it's described, it's not like fully on a choice, it's an impulse. It's like, well, shit, there needs to be ways to focus on how to reduce, manage, whatever these impulses. And I feel like that scenario you just gave, boy, that's some shit where like if it was a little bit of a little flame, that shit is a forest fire now.
But I feel like that would be the same thing if you have people uploading pictures of other people, especially people they don't know, because we got pedophiles, we got stalkers,
yep,
we got serial killers, we got all kind of stuff. So if we're gonna look at that and say like that's creepy, that could be potentially lighting a fire and making it bigger than what it is. We got to police that. Then that means we got to police the whole ability as a whole. Not even the people. We got to police the potential to be able to even create this. This has to be reconstruction.
The AI nigga stepped down and he was like, yeah, I stepped. He's like, I'm trying not to shit on Google.
But y'all got it because I don't want nothing to do with what's going to happen with this.
Yeah, boy, it was like, I don't feel like I could fully like critique this and be an employee of Google at the same time. So I'm not trying to shit on Google per se, but this stuff needs to have a bit of regulation, and we should maybe like take a step back from it, because I think the general argument is that at this point it's not smarter than us yet. It exists, but it's like, but the way that, technology rapidly pushes and stuff like that, fuck around, and the more we keep fucking with it, the smarter it'll get. And then you got some fucking,
the inevitable happens.
Fucking Skynet. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. It's a couple people be like, it's conspiracy theories. Fuck you. Look, we didn't. It's been. I watched too much sci-fi shit for us to duck.
Terminator, iRobot.
Listen, we was wrong for 2012. We ain't gonna be wrong that many motherfucking times. Keep fucking around. I'm not playing with you motherfuckers. All right, knock it off.
We was wrong in Y2K too.
Yeah, give me some and fuck with the shit that we want, nigga. I want teleporters and goddamn flying cars. Fuck around, fucking with. I ain't asked for this shit. I ain't asked for no AI nothing.
And AI to make no song that sounds like Drake when y'all know y'all got the good shit.
Yeah,
hidden somewhere.
I like all this goddamn talking had up here about hip hop. Let these motherfuckers get these bars off and go sit somewhere and write. Finna uproot the whole culture. Shit. What's that girl everybody like that nobody give a fuck about? Taylor Swift had a whole shit about her catalog. I don't give a fuck about her music, but
I was gonna say Ice Spice. I mean that list. That list could have been really long.
Yeah, I was trying to take it out from like hip hop, but
yeah, Taylor Swift don't nobody give a fuck about her.
But let her write her shitty music that I don't care about. I don't want to hear no fucking AI. I know I don't want to hear no fucking AI version of that shit. And you niggas are unruly anyways. Fucking
I mean, the AI version was now. Kids Bopping Now. Them CDs was.
Oh my god.
Them shits was the AI version of.
What does a kid that they parents raised them on Kids Bop turn into?
We could do a documentary on that.
Like what? Because there has as much
the kids that sung the songs first. We got to do them.
Oh, I feel like they
put you in the studio and made you sing these songs.
I feel like they were like lesser versions of Disney kids. Like you thought you was really, and you're like their rise and fall came and went much faster and potentially much harder. But I'm really worried about the kids whose parents really were like Kids Bop purchasers and made you listen.
All that you can listen to.
Yeah, and you really had to listen to Kids Bop. I know what a Sunday morning feels like with my mama screaming, could clean up and shit. But if you had to hear the fucking like the Kids Bop Mary J. Blige, what is your life like? What kind of person are you?
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
That's nuts.
Never meant to make your daughter cry.
Like y'all niggas wasn't riding around at 9 listening to Can't See Me but can't really sing the lyrics properly. Like it was just you had to learn some self-restraint. That's a life lesson.
I was riding around at 9 listening to fucking LL Cool J and 8-Ball and MJG. Thanks to my father.
8-Ball and MJG and Pimp C was definitely like more of an uncle ride.
No,
and also
my pops put me on.
LL was like we let like I know this is already like an internet like conversation, but the heinousness that we allowed LL to do for years was nuts. Getting haircuts with his hat on, like deepest bluest. My hat is like a shark's fin. He poured chocolate syrup on that. Like the songs be that's the thing.
The videos were
the songs be great, but the videos is nuts. This nigga poured chocolate syrup on this girl leg in fucking 100-degree New York weather in the summer. What's wrong with you?
I mean,
damn, chill out.
Was she of age?
She was of age. We not finna throw air. LL was fucking.
But he was young. Women. He was a young dude at the time. So, 19, 20-year-old LL, he could slide with a 17, 18-year-old girl. Because he didn't talk about, fresh out of school, standing at the bus stop and all that other stuff. He was young bachelor at the time, but
in that Peep show in a 3-piece suit and a choke on a fucking on a peach.
On an apple.
Yeah,
was it an apple or peach?
One of them. But you just I'm not bringing no fucking food in here. I know. And then that's a whole other wild scenario because you got to sit in the jerk seat.
You don't like food with your kink a little bit.
Yeah, if I'm fucking these people, it's so behind the glass. I think I'm glad I skipped over a lot of areas because like that. I feel like that whole Peep show shit would have just pissed me off. Like, we'll just sit here and
it ain't nothing but a strip club.
Yeah, but I was interacting with strippers. I know.
I mean, same. So I understand that regard.
And then I don't want to sit in the fucking like beat off chair. Like I know this is not like this is just we niggas come in here and let loose, and I don't want to do all that. That's weird.
I mean, that makes me think of today. Today, people are more comfortable with glory holes. Same concept, and they be in the same scenarios and situations as the Peep shows.
Glory hole. I remember the first time I saw like a glory hole porn, and like in my mind, like it seemed like, oh, this is great because like you're getting your dick sucked. But the concept of a glory hole in real life is the most terrifying idea to me. Like you just put your dick through a hole, and something on the other end of that fucking shit gets it done. You ain't got no fucking idea. Like you don't know what the fuck over there. It's just, just to hang your dick outside of an empty hole and just hope for the fucking best. Yo, that's some yo, niggas are dangerously horny. You got
some context, because I mean, honestly, and I thought it was just porn stuff when I was a kid, and I got older, and me being older and kind of learning more about kink stuff. There's a lot of kink and play parties and pink parties and all type of stuff like that. They be having gold glory hole.
Now, see, I think that's
stations where people they don't know the person behind it, but they know like that's over different. Here is where a woman's gonna be, or over here is where, or whatever. Like they kind of have an idea and they're consenting to it. It's just the stranger aspect of it.
That's fine. Now, see, that's something. If you at the kink space, I feel like there's a safety there that I can get behind because y'all gonna do some gross shit. I'm talking about the original idea that you've been driving this truck from Connecticut. You done drove this motherfucker from Connecticut all the way down to Oklahoma.
You stopped at your local Pilot.
Yeah, you stopped at Oklahoma. You pulled over at the rest stop. You done got you a little brew. You know, you go in the bathroom to pee, and you just look down, and and you hear some rustling on the other side, and you just go for it, nigga. That's a horror film. What the fuck over there?
But that's the consequence for your nastiness, I guess. If you're just willing to take that risk, you willing to, the repercussions.
All y'all be thinking y'all really like, gross and nasty, and I don't want to fucking sex dungeon in my. I'm gonna put a glory hole in my house. Just some surprise shit. Suck my dick, wife. I'll just put them in weird places in the house.
On the front door.
It's my fucking house. I do that shit.
Stand on the porch and just
put my dick right through the mail slot. Come on, mail lady. But that's
risky because you don't know if it's your wife in the house or not.
No, not my mail. Not my wife. Be mail lady. Like we gonna do some role play. You go put your mail outfit on, and
they don't have glory holes for women though. If I'm not mistaken,
put your whole ass through this. This be a big ass hole.
Just sit it through there.
Yeah, just sit your whole ass through this fucking.
I should look and see. I feel like if we do have it, it ain't publicized. It ain't talked about.
It's gonna be some shit like this, like that little awning area between like the kitchen and the living room. Just sit your ass over through that. Serve you up. It's a diner. We gonna
popcorn. Pick it up.
Yeah, it's a diner scenario. She just throw her whole ass on that little awning thing, and just kind of you just eat right there. Yep.
I mean, I'm not opposed to
y'all. Not creative, man. That's why y'all relationships failing.
It's like there's shibari, man. That's where shibari comes into play. Just tie her up like a rotisserie and just put her on the spit.
That's the thing.
And she's sitting there with an apple in her mouth, and you just.
Now, see, that's where the money could go well. You sitting up there, doing that shit. Now, if you had like a rolling spit apple, I can't never give me $1 million because just make her a rolling spit. But if you like, she had to keep her legs up. They gotta have a lot of room for this. Because she got to keep her legs up, and then as she's spinning, you in it though, so it just spins her around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a contraption for that. I guarantee it.
Yeah, yo. Or actually, what you could do, I feel like if you had the like the chair thing and or like the little harness, if you under the harness and she just spins in the harness. I know there's probably not something that could like last long. Got to get you like, you got to. This is where you got to. This is the show. Y'all got to get the dudes that are creative builders, like Pimp My Ride, but for sex shit. I know that white lady had that show, like Make a Sex Dungeon, but you got to make really crazy sex apparatuses. Because it's like if you had the sex harness thing, but I need a reinforced fan, and then I click that motherfucker, and that pussy just be spinning, but on your balls.
I feel like we do need that TV show.
That's the thing, right?
We got glass blowing on Netflix and creating Lego sculptures and stuff. Why we don't have nobody making? Because, I mean, it should be profitable right now, especially with OnlyFans, because apparently based on OnlyFans.
Choking himself? Oh, he is choking himself.
I don't know if he's choking himself or putting his cap on.
This low-key looks like a scenario. Oh, it's not. They fighting. They're about to fight. Actually, I don't know.
He's tying this shit up. But
anime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else was popping in the streets. Oh, okay. I feel like, because I know, it's last week, or was it a week before? And it was like, hey, we got, what was it? It wasn't scenarios. I might have to hold off on this, because it was like reactions, and I don't think I've paid attention to what they wanted us to react to yet. But it is a good conversation. Oh, no, these are actual, damn, this is a lot. Yeah, I was actually saying shit.
What was it? We appreciate y'all for saying shit. I don't know what y'all saying until he tells me what y'all are saying.
Anyone pique your fancy? It's fucking unfair. Literally, and I literally looked at that as we got off as we ended the show or whatever.
Marcus Houston. I mean, Marcus Houston fits with the conversation we've been having.
Oh, that is. Yeah, that's nasty. I don't have whatever we said about that shit earlier.
Was he grooming?
Throw Marcus Houston in there. Whatever.
You consider grooming?
I think their age difference is fucking nuts. If I can remember it properly. So
she's not. Is she 21 now, or is she not 21 yet, or something like that? Or they met when she was
whatever it is, man.
Under the age, but didn't get married until she was 19, and now she's 20 or 21. Because they've been married for like a year or 2 years, right?
Yeah, something like that. And I think they have a kid too. Either way, man, like
it's, I could and there's ways that I get it to a degree. I don't condone it, but I can understand it. You're an older guy, and you may want children, and the women at your age, it just ain't gonna happen. Because Marcus Houston in his 40s. He's in his 40s. He don't have no kids. So he going to have to go younger if he wants to have children, because there's not a lot of women in their 40s that's, at this point, if they don't have no kids in their 40s, they probably didn't say fuck it.
How rich, boy. You better surrogate that motherfucker.
I mean, hey, it's doable. I'm not going to say that it's not doable. We've had plenty of examples of women that have had children in older age. I condone it.
The brat got a kid.
Why she got a little white baby in her stomach?
Got a little mulatto child.
She got a little big lotto.
That's fucking true. Damn. That's true.
Hey.
Yeah.
I don't know. But those are just examples of people that are older in age that can have children. So, I get it to a degree. You want to go younger. But younger is different than young. I can't see myself meeting a 17, 18-year-old as me, a 37-year-old, and being like, yeah, we just got to know each other and we was vibing, and that's my person. Huh?
Nigga, what?
I can't see myself. It's people the same age as me, 2 years younger, and I'll still be like, nah.
He said, like, it's 17. Either way, the age gap
gap is nuts because he's in his 40s and he married her at 19.
Still the same concept, because it's like, if I'm not 2 years from 40, but it's like, even with that gap now, it's like, what are you, That's high school. Like that's a legitimate high schooler. And that's crazy to me. I can't even wrap my mind around that shit because that's a legitimate at the 33. At the 33. That's a legitimate high schooler. Now
I feel bad.
That's nuts, boy.
I won't say really bad. I feel a little bad. I feel a little bad watching fucking Instagrams and stuff. A lot of these interviewers that be interviewing the chicks at the clubs and the parties and the spring breaks.
Oh my God.
They're college kids. And they're grown. They're adults. They're of age. They are over 21. And I still be like, that looks good, but nah.
No, I had a conversation about that. Like, actually, was it yesterday? Day before yesterday? And it was more of a content conversation, but it was just how these conversations are framed. And more or less, it was like, you have to take those kind of platforms for what they are. Like, you know, it is college kids talking to other college kids in a party setting. I'm not looking for them to necessarily be the beacon for representation for men or women. Like,
not at all.
I want a month. Like, it was one where a nigga was like, he asked the girl, she said a bunch of the same things. The nigga need to have a gajillion $1 billion to fuck with her. He was like, do you have a gajillion $1 billion? She was like, well, no, but like, I'm a woman. And then I think he asked her like the capital of Florida, and she was like, Miami. And he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I said all that to say is like,
and he blamed it on the liquor too.
Yeah, but I said all that to say is like those conversations and with those people, I think sometimes motherfuckers gotta like be able to separate from as a content, creative motherfuckers. You got to be able to separate the two because it'll fucking ruin your fucking brain all day thinking like everybody is a hateful, stupid, dumb piece of shit and having to be like, not to be arrogant, but it's like this is this and that's that. Like I don't necessarily judge them. When I see those pages or things, I laugh. I laugh a lot. I don't really repost and I don't really use them as like a stance. It be some of y'all that be up here trying to have like the conversations. Y'all I'ma always talk to or talk about because y'all are not drunk. Y'all are not, 25. Y'all fucking up here goddamn 47 saying stupid shit.
Sober.
And not well thought out. It's back to that like Steve conversation. I know there was something I had said in that I said I was going to come back to, but I don't really remember it. But yeah, it was like him not fleshing out those concepts, using proper verbiage. Actually, like he does have a partner who like supports him. It's the 50-50 thing. It was the thing of him saying, and I don't know if this would be true of him, but I feel like it is probably I don't have a full like thought process on it, but I do feel like it might be a thing that exists. And, something make y'all uncomfortable. But him stating that his immaturity in his first marriage and how he moved through his second marriage, like coming to the conclusion that I never really loved anybody till I got to this person. Now, whether or not you believe that of fucking Steve, when you hear, now I know we critique Steve, even me, like I'm critiquing Steve, and I even think about, am I critiquing him already because he's a dude? Because you do kind of hear, like, on the flip side, when the relationships go awry, it be all this emotional exploration. It was like, I didn't feel this, and what I feel with him, I've never felt before. So it's either one, all of y'all are full of shit, and y'all just threw away the dog in the beginning, or two, it's like those movies, romance movies, y'all all be loving. It's like she's with this guy, and they're together, but he's a really piece of shit, and the love of her life comes back after who fucking knows how long, and they hit it off, and they realize that's where love exists. So can that exist on the flip side? Like maybe dog wasn't a piece of shit, but he realized that she's really just a better person. This is the better fit. This is what I've been looking for and longing for, and I've been trying to make it work in this. And it just ain't that. You're not shitty in general, but it's not for this. Where we're at, y'all frequencies or whatever, we not on the same thing, and we might never really be on the same thing. So should you really beat your own ass trying to be on the frequency with somebody because they're not hitting like that?
But in order to do that, you would have to not be looking to be the provider in a relationship. Yeah. In my opinion. Because if I'm looking at you to find out if you're compatible with me, if we work good together, if we're good teammates, if we have things in common, or the things that we don't have in common, if they match in the areas where I fall short and vice versa. If I'm looking to see if all these things are hitting, that means I'm not going to come in this thinking I'm going to be the provider and give you everything. That means I'm going to come in seeing what you can provide to me and what I can provide to you. It's going to be a mutual conversation.
Yeah. And I would say like mutual conversation and mutual. Damn, shit took a dark turn.
It's been dark since the first second.
I don't know. I always consider this way darker than like just death, but because the conversation of like what you're really really looking for and how you're evaluating like these motherfucker relationships, because I just feel like y'all doing a bad job. It's just all these financial, and it's like y'all are not likable people. That's why that nigga left. Because here's the thing I don't like either, is because it'd be like she was an amazing girl, she was doing well for herself. Well, wait a minute, man. How the fuck that become important now when that nigga leave? When everybody got together, it's always him supposed to be the provider. Like when the conversation started, he got the money and she's just an amazing woman. And then when dog leave, it's like she's a fucking lawyer. And it's like, that don't matter. You're supposed to be a great person. But I don't think people like that, because you got to figure out, like, maybe you're not like a dope person. You're not an evil person, but like, I know I've thrown that shit around before. Like, in order for me to get picked, I got to be charming, smart, funny. I got to be a part-time therapist before you're even a fucking therapist, because every day you have something to vent about, something to talk about, something to figure out. And, and my nigga, like, ask us, when the last time, like, she gave you some good advice? When the last time you thought to yourself, like, it'd be so great for her to, like, give her perspective on this. Not misogynistically. Don't fucking take what I'm saying that way. Literally, like, her opinion, like, I need you to lead. Okay, man, well, if I'm doing this all the time, you stepping into liability land or foot soldier land. And I just, a good soldier's only as good as what the fuck they can do for the army. Like, go over here and kill this thing.
But that, to me, that's reframing or rephrasing the question is like, when's the last time she was really supportive?
Mm-hmm.
Because providing a good perspective or providing good insight or whatever the case is, being a good soldier, those are all support. In order to support, that means you have to give something. You have to provide something. You have to be good at something, and you have to be willing to either take a step back or know when to take a step forward and be directed to do so, which is submissive as well.
So I'll be wanting y'all to use y'all words, because y'all just be like saying shit. Or not just use your words, but like say the thing and then explore the thing you said. Because I swear, if I literally be like changing the app or finding like a deep dive of dumb shit. When I see a video when y'all say divinity, masculinity, femininity, energy, I don't know, man, boundaries at this point, all good concepts, all concepts that I'll probably discuss and use in a more positive space as his career continues to grow. But the way that y'all be using words, like y'all just like found and like, I don't know, man, like went to like the dictionary app and found the first definition that sort of validates what you're saying. It's just fucking not good, and they're not good conversations. They're not well thought out, and they're not really fucking harmful, but y'all keep talking about them so I can have some shit to make fun of you for.
What's the shit that what's that boy name? Saucy Santana. The shit that he was saying in that clip.
Hey, he was kind of going off.
Y'all keep saying this shit to talk normal.
Gaslit, gas lights, gas
Everything
off.
got to do with all this. Talk regular.
He kind of was hitting on that shit though.
Just a little bit.
Like when he said that shit, I was like, "Hey, you know what? This motherfucker is moving towards a point, because motherfuckers just be saying any fucking thing because it sounded good on a fucking TikTok post. Yeah. At least this motherfucker on. Well, some of y'all.
I took it as like everything is moving towards you guys having this type of language to where you bastardizing it. Everything has something to do with these words. Talk normal and just say what it is. Now, I also saw the flip side of that, of like people are learning how to actually communicate their emotions and speak in different languages that in ways that are more healthy and able to actually address the topics. And he's uncomfortable with people being able to actually communicate in healthy ways. So it's a double-edged sword to a degree.
I would
I'm
say,
glad we got the language. I'm glad that we're bringing it forward, but I'm also not 100% glad because y'all ain't figuring out how to use the words before you start using them.
yeah. So for him, maybe, y'all should say, want people to talk in a more crazy way or whatever, maybe. But I think I'm definitely more of on the side of I don't think people are properly using these. We big up the Kier Gaines nigga like a lot over here, but when he has the conversations, the bro expresses and explores this concept, so you have a clear cut, concise understanding of what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's not just this issue happened, so I threw gaslighting on top of it. This issue happened, so I threw fucking
projection and avoidance on top of it.
Yeah, so I was like, creating boundaries. It's not that's not a boundary. You are avoiding responsibility. That shit is uncomfortable, and you're running from it. That's not a boundary. Sometimes, no, be fucking, god damn it, be fucking for real. Like, you doing weird shit. You taking all this good quality information and knowledge and stuff, especially in a capacity where we haven't been able to use this language. Some of it's just in our lifetime in mass that we're using this language properly, right. And you out here fucking it up
before it even gets good. But I mean, speaking of Kier, I saw something he posted, or I don't know if he posted it this week, but I came across it this week, where he was kind of expanding on something that Mel Robbins said, and I fuck with Mel Robbins. She'll tell you I'm a lawyer that turned, life coach or whatever the case is. So she doesn't know all the scientific terms or the psychological terms or things of that nature. She's kind of figuring it out too, but she's not too bad with what she says. But she was saying the whole stereotypical, if they wanted to, they would narrative. Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that he expanded on that. It was like, nah, that's not true. I fuck with what you're saying, and I normally like how you present things, but this may not necessarily be 100% true. Because if they wanted to and they would, that means you're not taking into account all the shit that goes on in their life.
Yep.
And I wanted to kind of expand on it myself, but I just like the fact that he's taking something like, you guys look at Mel Robbins, somebody that is making millions of dollars being a life coach and advisor and all this other stuff to corporate companies, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. She's making all this money doing this stuff, saying these words to people, and even she's going to use shit wrong sometimes. Mm-hmm. We're all going to have moments where we use shit wrong, and that's okay. But sometimes you have to be able to accept those alternate perspectives. So he's coming in, providing an alternate perspective that we need to listen to. Because it's easy for us to say, or for your therapist, my therapist told me that if they wanted to, that they would. And that's not always as easy to accept. That that's not 100% true. Sometimes they wouldn't, not because they don't want to, but because you're not a priority right now. They have other things that take precedence over you. I was going to take it to the lane of that's very egotistical and selfish of you to put you above the life of someone else that they are living in real time. But that's just a whole nother situation. Our ego tells us that we are more important than this person living their own life that has nothing to do with us.
But I think they are kind of tying because even him going, like you just saying, you're not a priority right now. The first thing somebody says or feels is defensive. Defensive. You saying fuck me and so on and so forth. It's like, no, man, I got a lot of other important things in my life that just as a rational fucking human being, I need to prioritize this. And if the roles are reversed, I would have you prioritize this, and this in your life before me. That's another thing that comes with, if we're doing relationship wise or even friendship wise, you're supposed to put this, that, and the third above all. That doesn't make any fucking sense, and that's unfucking healthy. And also, that's not love or relationship or none of that shit. That is your fucking ego, and you trying to find validation through this interaction. Like, this motherfucker drops the whole world for me. And it's like, okay, man, but are you paying attention that you are fucking killing this motherfucker on the flip side? You ain't got no room or whatever to really be a good addition to this person's life. Y'all weird. Weird's, a negative, a little pejorative statement, but potting. I think it should be better, man.
I actually know what you're talking about. Take a second, slow down, look at the different contexts and perspectives for everything that you're doing. Don't mess with her if she's still in high school, you know.
And throwing axes.
I mean, that's different. Everybody in anime is fucking in middle school, which is nuts.
But that's about all I got for the day, guys. I want you guys to just, be fucking. What's some chaos? I know I got some chaos in here.
More chaos as opposed to Smokey telling them lies that he was telling and that he's still telling. He just can't tell them as well anymore.
Pretty much. I mean, I know I saw something earlier. I'm going to fucking find this shit because I know I just need everybody to see the nonsense. Oh, wait. I think I found it.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Yes. Because if we're going to AI it, this is what the fuck AI is for. Don't get in here and mess up other artists. We're gonna bullshit it. Make Mr. Krabs and Squidward make a song. A fucking bop. Thanks for listening. I want you to like, share, and subscribe. He said money. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. Pull up looking clean. It's a Squidward part. Crack they grow the team. Bad bitches on me. I was bumping OBG. He taught me all I need. Let me see how this week. I don't fuck with squares and I don't fuck with no stars. Better not down from 12. He dissing Patrick and fucking SpongeBob. Don't care about who you are. Wait, watch out, Mr. Squidward. Yeah, you better be working hard. Mr. Krabs, please give me my check. You'll get it soon, but I won't promise that. Gotta get back to the bag, straight to the moodle, yeah, straight to the cash. Power been popping them tags. He gotta go double up all of his racks.
If they play this in the club, what you doing?
You want to take my money back for whatever I purchased? You gave me a drink, man.
You go to trap karaoke and somebody get on stage and perform this.
They won. They won. All right, y'all. Goodbye.